Alright, welcome back to my channel, guys. I'm Glass. If you can't see by the title, I'm reacting to videos. I respond, as far as reaction, I respond mostly to gaming stuff. So I like to make responses to what I see out in the gaming industry. That's the main thing that we do over here, along with a couple of other social things, I guess. So I'm a little mixed, 75% gaming, maybe 25% random social stuff that happened to get my attention. So that's what I like to do. Anyway, now with the introduction out the way for the new people, and I had to say the new people because I noticed y'all been subbing up all month. I got like 40 new subs this month, so hey man, appreciate you guys pulling up. Welcome. As you can see right here on my page right here, somebody was saying how this from Dumb C. I don't know if it's Dumb C or if it's Dump. I don't know, but DUMC, he said like, though, this was made by the Conan Exiles devs. So now Conan Exiles, apparently that's another MMO, right? Now Dune Awakening is an MMO. This is probably if I'm not mistaken, the next MMO after Conan Exiles. So I figured since my last video, I was basically trying to say I wasn't feeling comfortable. I was basically trying to say I wasn't feeling comfortable with the combat. People were concerned. I was concerned as well. I didn't realize people was concerned until after I said I was concerned. And there was other people that said it was concerned. Some people, they were saying that I was yapping. And I was just saying what I was saying. But this guy also agrees. He said the combat looks great. He said, but the animation looks weird. Which I truly believe the animation is what I was talking about. Animation, when you attack somebody, the way they respond to your attack, it's not really given, you know what I mean? It's not really given, And so I responded to him. I respond to a lot of comments, so feel free to leave a comment below. I like to respond to you guys. For us to have a conversation in the chat. I might even do a Discord eventually and invite you guys possibly. But for right now, let's just keep it in the YouTube chat. But basically, the reason why this video is being made right now is because this guy mentioned Conan Exiles, so I was like, you know what? Let's watch some Conan Exiles gameplay, and let's see what the combat was in that game, because I did not play that game. I didn't even know about that game. I just built my first PC about 3 years ago. So I'm brand new to PC gaming. I'm still a baby. I don't know if Conan Exiles is a PC game exclusive, but I never heard of it until recently. So this is Conan Exiles. This is a game grader. He has a little 5-minute, 6-minute video talking about it. And let's see if we can find out what we can possibly expect at the very least from Dune Awakening's combat. So let's see what's going on here.
Are you a fan of open world survival games? Or perhaps you really like barbarians? If that's the case, Conan Exiles might be the perfect game for you. This game came out in 2017, but is still averaging almost 10,000 players today. Now Conan Exile is...
that sounds pretty good. About 10,000 concurrent players today. And he said this game came out like 2017 or something like that, he said. Alright, so that sounds like they did a good job here. I'm not gonna lie, this visuals right here looks really good too. I never heard of this game. I mean, I heard of this game like maybe like a few months ago maybe, but a year ago I never heard of this game.
It's a hardcore survival game. This game will not hold your hand and tell you what to do. It is an open world survival game where you are free to do as you please. The game has a variety of content ranging anywhere from base building to exploration to fighting massive monsters. If you ever played Ark Survival Evolved, you'll be pretty familiar with the concept of this game as well. Conan Exiles massive monsters. If you ever played...
What? Okay, I'm like, what am I watching here? Why is her arms like that? Nah, this looks crazy. Ark Survival Evolved be like? I don't get it. I never played Ark Survival Evolved, so I don't know.
Played Ark Survival Evolved, you'll be pretty familiar with the concept of this game as well. Conan Exiles has multiple different game modes. You can either play single player, multiplayer, or of course host your own dedicated servers. Now, if playing single player or your own server, you of course can do whatever you please and set up the server just for you. Now if you're gonna play in the official multiplayer servers, there are quite a few things to look out for. First of all, there's PvP and PvE functions. And I have to warn you, the PvP can be quite competitive and even toxic at times.
Wait, hold on. That animation looked kind of weird.
PvE function.
The way he threw that rock.
And I have to warn you, the
Look at this right here. I don't know. Did I see something weird just now right here? I don't know how I'm about to move myself. Look at this creature over here real quick.
PvP can be quite...
Why do I look kind of weird? It like he just put it up, like he put his hand up with the rocks in his hand, and then it just shot out his hand.
PvP and PvE functions. And I have to warn you, the PvP can be quite competitive.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe he threw it. It looked kind of weird for whatever reason at first. I'm not trying to pick at the game. I'm not trying to pick on the game. I just thought that was funny the way my eyes caught that the first time. But I'm not gonna lie, this looks cool. I like the visual of this game.
And even toxic at times. Also, there are a lot of cheaters and hackers as well, which is quite unfortunate, and I hope they fix it soon. But I would highly recommend playing this game with friends, and you can either choose, of course, a multiplayer server, or you can make your own. Now, as I mentioned, this is an open world survival game, and the survival mechanics are actually quite interesting. They've added stuff that's very specific to this game.
Okay, combat, this is what I want to see.
You have stuff like sandstorms, purges, and even legendary creatures. So the game will never feel the same in terms of survival mechanics, because events just happen randomly around you. Now, one of the main things to look at is the...
Wait, so you gotta create your character on the cross? You gotta create your character on the cross? Maximum nudity on server full? So you got full on nudity in the Conan Exiles game? Yo, I wonder if I can I create the Lord and Savior, bro? Can I create Jesus? Jesus Christ?
Mechanics, because events just happen randomly around you. Now, one of the main things to look at is the combat system. The combat is fast-paced and can be quite fun. You can dodge, attack, read behavior of enemies, and try and jump out of the way. And you have a lot of different weapons, so like dual-wielding daggers, shield, and swords. And there are some really solid RPG mechanics in the game as well. You, for instance, have a point system, so you can increase your stats like strength, agility, vitality, and this allows you to customize your own character depending on what you want to make. So you could prioritize on being really good at PvP, PvE. You, of course, also have an entire building and crafting system. I won't mention too many boring details, but they are very solid. The crafting is very intuitive, and the building has a nice and snap mechanic to it. And if you ever, of course, get bored of building and crafting, you can always go exploring. The game of Conan Exiles is massive, and you have a ton of different stuff to explore. You have different biomes, like the snow biome, the desert, the jungle, and all this adds a ton to the aesthetic and the feeling of the game. And speaking of biomes, the graphics in Conan Exiles is also really solid. Now, the game is fairly old, but the graphics are good. They are cartoonish, but they are good in their own way. Also, each different zone has very different visuals, different feelings, different music, sound effects, etc. And this makes the entire game feel way more alive, immersive, and there's a great atmosphere to the game. The lore is also surprisingly good. Most open world survival games like this won't really give you any lore or story, but Conan Exiles actually has a great lore. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's really good. Now, the game has a lot of replayability. There are multiple different servers with different settings like PvP, PvE, and also the amount of mods is ridiculous. You can probably get thousands of hours of playtime in this game with the mods alone, and therefore you can easily make this game your main game if that's what you choose to do, because you have so much different content and variety in the game. Now let's look at some...
I mean, I'm looking at the combat. I'm not gonna lie, for this game, it's a 2017 game. I'm trying to think about it's 2017, right? This game there's no saying browse all game. Let's see, what year did this game come out? Let me see. Conan Exiles release date January 30th, 2017. And then obviously a year later, God of War came out, 2018. Now I get it, God of War obviously is a single player game. I heard MMOs just naturally different as far as combat because of multiplayer aspects, I guess. But I don't know. The combat it looks, I don't know, it's just not, it just looks outdated, even for 2017, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. But I don't know, I'm not an MMO expert, so.
That's what you choose to do, because you have so much different content and variety in the game. Now let's look at some of the pros of Conan Exiles. The customization
Maybe
is
I'm just spoiled. I just played a
make
lot of
your own
great games
character,
recently.
and there's a lot of attention to detail here. The atmosphere is amazing. You feel very immersed because of the soundtrack, the visuals, and the overall feeling of the game. And I was surprisingly impressed by the mining system. It's very interesting and satisfying. It's a pretty minor thing, but I really liked it. And the combat is also really enjoyable to play in the game. Now let's look at some of the cons. There is a general bugginess of the game, unfortunately. There are quite a few things that don't.
I would say this. I like the fact that when they hit somebody with a sword in this game, the characters are backing up. They're staggering. Like, oh shit, like they're getting hit and they're staggering, they're backing up. And that was like the main complaint that I was having when I was watching the Dune Awakening video. I was thinking, why is it that when you hit somebody, like let me see if I can find that really quickly. Let's see if I can find it. Dune Awakening episode 3. What was it? Episode 3, right? Alright, episode 3. Let me see if I can find it. With the combat, there's a point in the combat where he's like, he ran up on somebody to attack him, and it was a very lackluster attack. Like, it just didn't feel like. Where the hell is it? Is this it? No, this ain't it. What's the first? Here it is. Here it is down here. Right? So it's down here, right? Where in Dune Awakening, when he ran down here and did this attack.
It has combat that is about getting in close for melee combat and then pulling.
And like the character just went straight down. And I figured like with that kind of momentum that he's like jumping towards him.
We're trying to build a game that has combat that is about getting in close for.
Right? I'm thinking with that kind of level of like force, the character gonna fly back a little bit. You know what I mean? Like you just did a special like thrust move that threw you forward, and then you kneed him in the face, and he just fell straight down, like he just fainted.
Back quickly to a game.
Like even the sound effect was kind of soft.
That has
Let me raise the volume. Raise volume.
Combat that is about getting in close for melee combat.
What does that sound? Like, what is that sound? What is that sound effect there?
We're trying to build a game that has combat that is about getting in close for melee combat and then pulling.
Like, what does that sound? I don't understand. You need him in the face. I don't know what that's. What was that? What was that? That audio sound for the contact knee into the face. I don't know. So it just. I wasn't really feeling that. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't really feeling that. You know. I know there's another one where he's like kick somebody in the back.
Or using a shield.
It's the same thing. This one looked a little bit better because the guy fell backwards. That one looked a lot better.
Wire claw on the environment to pull yourself closer to the enemy, but also giving you
I think
abilities
he does
like
it
the
over here
voice
too.
compel, which allows you to pull.
No, he didn't shoot somebody. But yeah, that first knee attack, it definitely threw me off. I was like very confused about how I felt about that. But this one looks pretty good as far as like the way he hit him.
Now let's look at some of the cons. There is the general bugginess
Like
of the game.
every time they hit somebody, they fall back a little bit, and I like that.
Unfortunately, there are quite a
Like that was good. Saw that person just kind of like fell over. That was actually good. So this is actually like reinstalling my faith in the Dune. Right now I'm just thinking, all right, maybe Dune is still in its early stages. Maybe they trying to see what works before they really do more detail on maybe the animations of how they actually react to certain attacks, you know? Because right now the animation for the attacks in Dune was, I don't know, it felt flat. Even the audio of how it sounds when you hit somebody, it doesn't sound like you really hit them that hard or whatever. Like it just didn't sound right to me. But that's all.
few things that don't really work, both in terms of the game, but also when you look at stuff like multiplayer. There's quite a bit of desync, service stability is not really that great, and also of course the massive amount of cheaters as well, which is probably my biggest gripe with the game, is the amount of cheaters. It's honestly why I probably recommend
ragdoll physics.
Play the
I
game,
love ragdoll physics. I say ragdog, but yeah, I love ragdoll physics in the games. You know, like GTA 4 probably had one of the best ragdoll physics. This looks fun right here, dragging a body like that. That looks cool.
play on PvE servers, play single player, or find your own dedicated server with some kind of community, as I just don't think that the online multiplayer PvP servers are worth the effort. Now let's grade the game, shall we? So the first thing we're looking at is gameplay, and here we're looking at mechanics, systems, and does the game work as intended, and also we look at the story. And here I'm gonna give Conan Exiles a B. The overall gameplay and mechanics are really solid. The combat is good, the building, the crafting, the surviving, the exploration, those are all really good part of the game. But unfortunately, the issues, the bugs, the cheaters, the multiplayer servers, these things unfortunately rate the game quite a bit. Now I feel pretty generous giving it a B because the cons are quite massive, but if you take my advice earlier and you don't play in the multiplayer servers so you can't get griefed by cheaters, and you can simply just enjoy the mechanics and play with your friends, the game is really solid. Next thing we're looking at is the graphics, the sound, and immersion. Basically, you get these wow moments when the game blows you away with how good looking the game is. And here I'm gonna give the game a C. It is a good game. It looks good, and also the sound and music design definitely helps here, but you can of course tell that the game is a bit older, and also the cartoonish kind of graphics are of course not as visually pleasing as some of the more modern games we have nowadays. So I feel like a C grade is quite appropriate to this game. And for the next thing, we're looking at progression. Basically, does your effort feel meaningful? And here it's gonna depend a lot on what kind of player you are. Do you like these kind of open world survival games that's all about crafting, building, exploration, basically slowly building up, and also the customization to a character can take a long time as well. But I feel like this is very solid overall. I'm gonna give the game a B. I personally love these kind of games. I have 800 hours in ARK, thousands of hours in open world survival games as a whole, so this game really spoke to me in a similar way. I love the progression in terms of making my character stronger, so getting more skill points, and then of course also entire building and crafting, making a better base, getting better armor, all that good stuff. And of course the overall grade of the game is then a B-. If you like these kind of games, you will also enjoy this one. There's plenty of room for every kind of player. There's so much variety in content that you can do whatever you want to as well. Now I would recommend buying this game on sale, as it's on sale quite often, as it is 40 bucks without sale, and it's also like $120 worth of DLC as well later on. Also the game is a lot better when you can play with friends or some kind of community. Consider finding or hosting your own server so you have full control over the settings, and so you don't get griefed by cheaters. But in conclusion, Conan Exile is a hardcore survival game. It is a truly unique game, but if you're up for the challenge and the struggles, the game will absolutely pay off and be worth the money and time spent. I hope you found this video useful. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe if you did, and also check out the video on the screen now, as I think you also really enjoy that one. This has been Game Grader. See you next video. Peace out.
Okay. Yeah, that actually looked pretty cool. You know, that actually looked pretty cool. That gave me a little bit more. Is this Dr. Disrespect? Yeah. Is he playing that game right now? Wukong? I love Dr. Disrespect's thumbnails. I love his thumbnails. His thumbnails be so good, bro. Dr. Disrespect be having some of the best thumbnails for his live streams. Let me see. Is he playing right now or nah? What's going on? Oh, his stream ended. Oh, okay. I want to see what he was doing. What's going on there? Anyway, but yeah, so basically the way I'm gonna clean up my thought on what I was watching. The gameplay, I'm hearing Conan Exiles gameplay was solid. Before this video, I saw like a previous video that was talking about how it was good. I guess for the time, I don't know about for now, but definitely for the time. And if that's the case, I mean, I would only assume that Dune Awakening would have to, at the very least, match the level of Conan's gameplay, right? And just add on to it, right? Conan is more of like a primitive game with sword and shield, I guess. And obviously with Dune, you have guns, you have melee, you have like magic, I guess. You know what I mean? So there's so much more they can do with that. So I don't know. I guess we're gonna see what happens. They're saying Dune Awakening is gonna be coming out somewhere, I think in like the first or second quarter of 2025. So that means sometime in the springtime, I'm guessing. Maybe like a May release. So May, we are in September right now. So May, that's like at least 6-7 months away. So they still have time to do some touch-ups. So we'll see. Like again, I don't have any negative feelings towards Dune. I had just concerns about how the gameplay was. I felt like it was just looking a little bit lackluster as far as the combat. Mainly it's the combat, not the overall gameplay, just the combat. But hey, they can make some tweaks. They can always make some tweaks. And who knows? Maybe what I was seeing, maybe it feels better when you're playing it, and maybe also it just is created in that way due to the whole PvP, PvE, and it just makes more sense for that setup of a game to make it look like that. I don't know. Again, I'm not an MMO master, you know what I mean? I'm not an MMO player, but I was interested, like I said, because of it being taking place in the Dune world, and after watching those last 2 Dune movies, I'm like, yeah, I'm down for some more Dune. So, that's my thoughts on that. Let me know how you feel about that. Any of you guys played Conan Exiles? And if so, let me know what your experience was with the combat. Like if you liked it, if you didn't like it, if there's any other videos of Conan Exiles that would give me more context as to what the combat is really like, so I can have an idea as to like, all right, this is why people like it. You know what I mean? So if you know anything more about Conan Exiles, give me your opinions on it in the comments, obviously. As far as Dune Awakening's combat, if you feel the same, share your opinions on it. If you feel like, nah, the combat looks good and this is why it's made like that, let me know in the comments. I'm down to listen. You know what I mean? And I'm down to go back and forth. Not like go back and forth, but I'm down to respond to any comment that makes sense. That makes sense to me. All right, let me keep it moving. What the hell is this? A bird with a human's head? I'm not gonna lie, he just turned into a bat? Yo, this game is weird as hell. I heard it's hot. I ain't played it yet, but actually no, I'm bugging. I did play it. My boy got it, and I played it. I beat one of the babies, the giant babies or whatever, the giant baby Buddhas. I beat one of those. All right, let me keep moving.